Hello and welcome to In the Know. I'm Mark Crosby. Thank you so much for joining me and my guest in studio. My guest is Norfolk County Sheriff Patrick McDermott. This is a return, many returns, to Quincy Access Television.
We're coming up on year 4. Well, we're coming up on year 5 starting in January, so it's amazing how time flies when we're having fun.
Many shows, and as we had mentioned on previous shows, though the recording is done at Quincy Access Television, the program goes throughout the county.
Yeah, it's always great to be in another part of the county, and they reference this show, and it's great to connect with people, and knowing that some of the programs that we're offering at the Sheriff's Office and the news and the events that we're doing are making its way out to the people throughout the county. So I appreciate that all the time.
Definitely. So. We appreciate you taking us up on the offer.
Cool deal.
We have a lot to talk about today. We're going to start with a conference that was held actually in Quincy not too long ago, and there was a special guest that joined.
Yes.
We do have a video. We will get to that video in just a moment, but talk about, set it up for us, set up the conference.
Yeah, so I have the pleasure of being the Vice President of the Massachusetts Sheriff's Association this year. I'll be President in January. And the sheriffs rotate meetings, monthly meetings every month. And so I was scheduled to have the meeting here in Quincy in September. And I got a call from the National Sheriff's Association's new president, Sheriff Kieran Donahue, from Canyon County, Idaho. And he was coming to town, and he wanted to visit with the Massachusetts sheriffs, and so I happened to be hosting the meeting that month, and so I said, yeah, we're going to welcome you to the City of Presidents. And we hosted a reception at Alba's. Leo Kika did a fabulous job opening his restaurant up to us, and we had a lot of special guests and dignitaries come to greet President Donahue, who showed up in full regalia. As I say, as much as I've been the sheriff for 4 years, and we've had sheriffs here in Massachusetts, Sheriff Donahue came right out of Central Casting. He had the hat, he had the belt buckle, he had the boots, and all looked well.
As you're saying all this, I'm going to look toward my director to possibly show a clip.
It's like, man, Jeannie, my beautiful wife, thank you, Jeannie, for being here. I did a lot of things. I had a very adventurous life. Hard rock mining, as a scientific diver for the Institute of Science in Alaska on the Exxon Valdez oil spill, as a biology guy, as a professional horse trainer. And all my life I looked for what do you want me to do? I met Jeannie training horses. We have 3 wonderful daughters. But it wasn't until I got to the academy, and I didn't want to go. My best friend was a state trooper in Alaska. He became a federal game warden, and he said, I think you need to get in law enforcement. I said, I'm 41 years old, and I'm broke to pieces. I broke my back and neck 4 times, and I've done everything I could do to hurt myself. As a president of an organization representing over 3,000 sheriffs nationwide, Sheriff Donahue's leadership extends beyond his home state, placing both Idaho and his unique approach to law enforcement into the national spotlight. Sheriff Donahue's roots run deep, not only in law enforcement, but in the very fabric of Idaho itself. He hails from a proud 4th-generation family of cattle ranchers, where he learned the values of hard work, integrity, and perseverance.
His passion for public service, law enforcement, and in particular, this month being October and Domestic Violence Awareness Month, his principal mission is called the Man Up Challenge, and him and his wife have started a nonprofit that focuses on domestic violence awareness and focusing on young boys about educating them on how to be better men and how to treat women with respect and dignity. And so it's amazing what Sheriff Donahue has done, and his presidency his infancy of his presidency is starting off on a great foot. So we were honored to have him in Massachusetts, and we're looking forward to seeing him in Washington in a couple of weeks.
And we do have a graphic, Man Up Crusade, which will appear at the bottom of your screen. for more information, and that's www.manupcrusade.com. I don't know how many people say
And we will-
www.
I know, we throw out the W these days. I guess everybody knows that that's a foregone conclusion. But the Man Up Crusade will be making its appearance in Massachusetts. We've signed on. We will be formalizing our relationship with Sheriff Donahue on that. The National Sheriff's Association have endorsed it, and he wants to regionalize this. And so the New England sheriffs are getting together. We're going to have I jokingly said, but I'm kind of half only joking, that we're going to bring a rodeo to here in the Northeast. We don't see that kind of stuff that often, but I figured this is Sheriff Donahue's dream, so might as well bring a little Idaho to Massachusetts.
Very good. Let's talk about partnerships and a new partnership with the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office.
We're always looking for innovative ways that we can bring programming to justice-involved individuals who are incarcerated and are trying to work their way back into the community. And, what we need to do is create environments where they can succeed. And usually, housing issues, mental health and substance use counseling. But having a stable job and an income is the foundation upon which they can thrive in a community. So we know that in the hospitality industry, there's a lot of need for trained people to work in a kitchen. And so Snap Chef was able to be awarded through a grant from the Commonwealth Corps, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts grant program, a grant for $220,000. And that's a partnership between Snap Chef and the Norfolk Sheriff's Office. And so the agreement is that Snap Chef will come into the Norfolk Sheriff's Office, into our jail, and begin a training program with 18 of our justice-involved individuals, training them to basically work in a kitchen, be a chef. And we have numerous opportunities for them to test their skills. I mean, we feed 360 inmates a day, plus our staff is fed every day, so we're constantly working that kitchen. So to have Snap Chef on as a partner, to come in as a private sector employment opportunity, coming in, training our men to give them an opportunity to get a job when they leave, is a real great godsend. So we're looking forward to that partnership. It starts up in a couple of weeks.
The funding for this program?
So the funding comes from the Reentry Workforce Development Demonstration Program, which is a grant from the Commonwealth Corporation, which is on behalf of the Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development. So we had the secretary there from the Healy Driscoll administration when we had a check presentation down in New Bedford, I believe we were at, and it was for $220,000. And that $220,000 is going to multiply itself in benefits for public safety. When these individuals go back out, get jobs, become tax-paying citizens, they'll be able to afford their apartment, their house, their car, their own way of life. And so exponentially, that investment of $220,000 from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is going to go exponentially well for all of us.
Talk about how this ties into the Hope Center.
So our Hope Center in Braintree is kind of an extension of the jail. So we opened our Hope Center in April, and Hope stands for Healing, Opportunity, Purpose, and Engagement. And that's a reentry organization. Basically, it's an integral part of what you do as a sheriff's office. So we have within the jail our reentry staff. They get members of the justice-involved community ready for reentry. The Hope Center serves as that stopgap safety net. As people leave the jail, they'll be able to interact and go to the Hope Center for ongoing counseling, ongoing work development, ongoing education. So what's great about our Braintree location and where the Hope Center is, we uncovered a fully commercial kitchen in the basement of the Hope Center, which was used years and years ago when we actually housed inmates in Braintree. And so we cleaned that up. We've got part of this investment is going to go hopefully towards renovating that kitchen. So as people come out, we're going to be furthering their training there. We have events down in Braintree. We're renovating a home down there that'll be able to house major events. We've got our a great pavilion down there that will be hosting events. So there'll be opportunities for these men to actually put the skills that they're learning to work out in the community, and that's going to be through the Hope Center.
And of course, QATV, along with other outlets were there to cover the grand opening ribbon cutting not too long ago.
Nope, mentioned a pre-program about a breaking news. We just met this morning with comedian Steve Sweeney, who's very well known in the Quincy community. He's a Quincy resident. And we're launching a Night of Hope comedy night. And it's going to be a sober comedy night down at our Braintree campus on November 21st. Steve Sweeney is going to produce it. He's going to bring in some legendary comedians. There's some high-level names I can't necessarily disclose right now, but on save the date for November 21st, we're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, raising money for the Hope Center. And it's all about making sure that people feel safe in the community.
Some of the other services that are available to men.
So yeah, we have numerous opportunities that are available to our justice-involved individuals at the jail. We want to make sure that they're constantly moving in the right direction. So we've had some recent successes with men graduating, getting their GED program, which is their high school equivalency exam, going through our Nurturing Fathers program, which teaches men how to be responsible fathers and having loving relationships with their children and their significant other. So that's a really important program. We have our employee program, which is extremely successful, which gives hope to people that are looking for jobs, resume building, interview skills. And so the numerous success stories. We actually just had a gala with New England Wildlife Center, another partner of ours down in Weymouth. And we were partnering back up with them to send some of our population to Weymouth to learn how to be to take care of wild animals. And so all of these come back to what can we do to change the mindset of an individual who has pretty much found the bottom of the barrel. They're incarcerated and they're moving to an area where they can actually find hope, find a better way to live. And when they get back out into the community, as I say, they are your neighbor. They are coming back to live with you, to shop at Star Market with you, to go to the South Shore Plaza at Christmas time and buy gifts for their family. You're going to run into these people at the gas station. It's my obligation to give you a good product back, and that's what we're delivering.
So part of the employee program involves resume building and something called employment or employee boot camp.
Oh yeah, well that's it, right? We go right in and teach you from A to Z how to look for a job, which starts with getting your resume polished up, how to search for a job that's within your skill set and what your desire will be. And I always say too, Mark, I can get a job for anybody. Jobs are easy to come by in this economy, but I don't really want to get you a job. I want to find you a career path. And a career path is something that you invest in, something that you desire. It's not just a 9-to-5, go to Home Depot, and which is a great job too, getting $18 an hour, but it's not a real career move unless you want to be the manager of Home Depot, which now you get me excited. But we want these men to choose a path that gets them the end result. It gives them fulfillment and a desire to achieve great things. So that's what the employee program does, kind of focuses on what they want, what their needs are. Get that resume in place, get the skills you need to go into an interview, dress for success, and achieve what you are looking for in life.
Before we leave this topic, programs and courses available, including financial literacy, creative writing, coping skills.
Yeah, and because we have a lot of guys who are dealing with anger issues and dealing with stress and a lot of traumatic issues. There's a reason why people start down the criminal path to begin with. A lot of sad stories you hear about broken homes, broken families, abusive relationships. Many of these men that came from broken homes, no father involved, and so some of these programs in terms of psychological analysis and coping skills are necessary to get them at least in a mindset where they can succeed.
Talk about veterans and some recent, you had a presentation, you had...
Yes, I have a couple of them. And we had, we talked about, I think on this program, our House to House for Heroes program that we launched in Quincy, which was great. And that actually rose the awareness of some of my commitments to our veterans programs throughout the county. So I was invited to speak down at, I think it was called the Southeastern Veterans Service Agents meeting, where I emphasized how we wanted to roll out the House to House for Heroes program. At the same time, Secretary Santiago was there as well, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs for the Commonwealth. And so we have a great partnership with our friends on Beacon Hill to roll out the HEROES Act. And the HEROES Act is a recently enacted legislation that has a lot of veterans benefit programs available in it. The toughest thing that we always find is how do we roll out these veterans benefits and how do we get the word out about it? So the House to House for Heroes program that we initiated is going to be that signature way, at least in Norfolk County, we roll that out. I was down in Weymouth the other day with Judge Ponce, who's the Veteran Service Agent there. We spoke about some of the programs that are available for veterans, both the incarcerated individuals that are veterans that need specialized services, but we want to make sure we're connecting those men with their veteran service officers as they're coming out and being re-entered into society. So our veterans agents are really important, and there's a veterans agent in every community. So for those veterans that might be watching this, veterans are tough because they had to be tough because most of them went off to war to defend our freedoms. But a lot of times they're shy about asking for help. Help is available, there's benefits available, and I urge our veterans to contact your local veteran service agent, find out those benefits that are available to you. And as we roll out the next House to House for Heroes program, which I think is going to be in Braintree, we all have other options around the county, but we're going to do this throughout the year.
Is that the Braintree event in November?
Yes, we're tentatively scheduled for November. We're still working out some logistics for that. And so the House to House for Heroes program partners up our local veteran service officer, the Norfolk Sheriff's Office, and then we help coordinate the volunteers, because this is literally a major effort to go door to door and visit veterans throughout each and individual community. So we need hundreds of volunteers, and we were blessed in Quincy to have local high school sports teams, cheerleaders, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, ROTC programs. All the kids came, a civic organ, the Rotary Club, of which I'm a past president here in Quincy, came out, and I'm blessed with that. So we have to partner up with those community members. And it really is a great thing for a non-veteran, somebody who's never served. I've never served, but I never get sick and tired of listening and hearing stories of what our veterans have been through, why they sacrificed what they did for us. And I think that the volunteers got just as much out of it, if not more, than the veterans did.
Let's talk now. Let's move to close ties with the PMC.
Yes. So
something that you've been a part of for years.
I'm turning 55 in December, and it seems as though my 22-year-old brain is not keeping up with the 55-year-old body. But for 33 years, it's great. I lost my mom to cancer in 1989. I lost my good friend Paul Harold to cancer in 2002. I lost numerous friends and family members. I've had numerous friends. My roommate from college is a cancer survivor, so I saw firsthand him going through chemotherapy. So the work of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute is near and dear to me, and so I started participating in the Pan Mass Challenge in 1992. So for 33 years, I've jumped on a biked across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, 200 miles, all raising money for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. That has morphed over the course of time into multiple events, multiple routes. And so this year I decided, just because I was bored this year, I guess, to hit the grand slam of PMC participation, which included the PMC winter cycle, which happened back in late January, early February. And then I did the summer ride, which is the traditional ride, 200 miles from Sturbridge to Provincetown. The Sheriff's Office also sponsored a kids ride, which was fabulous. We had kids come down to our Braintree campus and ride around and raise money. And then most recently, I think most people think I'm a little psychotic for doing it, but the PMC Unpaved, which was a 50-mile ride, which I kind of boasted, like, how hard could 50 miles be? Well, 50 miles can be very difficult when it's on gravel, and it's off-road, it's uphill throughout the mountains of the Berkshires. And I gotta say, I have never experienced something as challenging physically and a little bit mentally in my life when it comes to a challenge like that. And so I enjoyed it. I will do it again because I was not prepared for it, but it was fulfilling in the fact that I did finish. It took me 6 hours to get it done. But the monies that we raised, I think we're closing in on something like $15,000 this year for my participation. But the PMC itself this year crossed the $1 billion threshold. So $1 billion over the course of 40 years. And according to our number crunchers, we're on to the next billion. And if we stay on target, That next $1 billion will come due around 2037. And hopefully we won't need it. It'd be nice someday if all of a sudden we have that research done that says cancer is now in the back, in the rear view mirror. So, but I'll still participate right until I can't.
And very good. And we do have a graphic for folks at the bottom of the screen in just a moment.
Me wiping out?
More. I'm sorry?
Me wiping out?
No, no, we'll still be on video here in the studio. This is for folks to find out more information. If you look
there
at the
it is.
screen, there it is.
PMC.org, ways to give. Yeah, there's lots of ways to give, and we appreciate your generosity. Help us get to our $75 million goal this year.
I didn't get the video of you wiping out.
Fantastic.
Had I had that,
yeah, I know, that would
used
have been a good one.
Let's talk about the Fall Safety Fest.
So great partnership. We try to roll out 3 public safety events a year. This year we got rained out in Sharon, but the sun came out nicely for Councilor Jim Devine, Ward 4 councilor here in Quincy, who hosted with us at O'Rourke Field in West Quincy our fall safety festival. But we had a great time. It was the sheriff's office comes with all of our bells and whistles, our command center, our drones, our canine demonstration. The tactical picnic unit rolled out and served. I think, according to them, we served over 300 hamburgers. Probably the same amount of hot dogs. So there were literally 500, 600 people that came out. We had great community partners came to the event. We had the Quincy Library here. We had some Bay State Community Services. We had a bunch of folks that came out and helped us out.
Quinn Cycles.
Quinn Cycles, exactly, right down right my heart there. And so it's a great family event that people came out, enjoyed the day. And it's just a way to get together. And I applaud Councilor Jim Devine for putting it together, helping us out, rally the troops, and getting people there. And we look forward to probably having another one in Quincy next summer.
Quincy Community Action was a part of that. Manic Community Health was also a part of that.
Yeah, all of our partners. We're very happy to have those folks on. But without those nonprofit in the community, the things that we do at the sheriff's office just couldn't happen. I've been involved with those with QCAP. I was on the board back in the day. Manic Community Health Center. I've been helping them for years in their fundraising. But we utilize their services, and we're very blessed to have them in our community.
The Lions, United Way,
Quincy
Girl
Lions,
Scouts.
Yeah, the United Way is a great partnership. They're the number one. I think they're the number one charity in the country when it comes to whether it's disaster relief or helping out families in need, food drives. It's just amazing. The amount of community partnerships you can get together.
I'm going to take a nod to my director and just look for some clarification as to where we are in the program. Although you did look at your watch prior.
We did, and we're right at the bewitching hour. And so, the final topic could be this "Are you okay?" save we had. So
Let's talk about that.
yeah, it was really, but it was a great day in the sheriff's office a couple of weeks ago when I got a call from Officer Cheryl Bambury and said that we had a save through our "Are You Okay?" program. So "Are You Okay?" is a daily phone call that we send out to the participants in the program. These are people that mostly seniors that live by themselves, and it's a daily check-in. And we send out those phone calls, and as people respond, we know that people are okay. Well, one individual, an 80-year-old woman from Canton, did not respond to her call. So Officer Bambury proceeded in calling her individually. Took several attempts. Finally did get a hold of the woman, but found out that she had fallen, couldn't get up. And so we were able to initiate first response, get to her location, get her to the hospital, and a couple of days in the hospital, and she's on the road to recovery. So a great save by the "Are You Okay?" program, and we're encouraging people to get on that program.
Which we should mention is a free program.
It's a free program. It's something that we're very proud of, and it doesn't cost anything to get on. It's not an intrusive thing. You pick the time that the call comes in every day. You can turn it on or off at any given time, and we're happy to have it on. But if you call us up, because we do walk you through how the sign-up process works, it's 1-866-900 RUOK, which is 7865. And we want to have that program. There's 700,000 residents in Norfolk County. I've got to think there's a pretty significant amount of people that live by themselves, possibly have just come out of rehab, that are by themselves. This is an insurance program for people. This is free. This is a daily check-in. It saves lives.
I'm going to look to you for a time check once again, and don't know if we have any time to talk about women in law enforcement. I suppose I mentioned it, so we probably should now.
Why not? We've got the Molly crew, which is a very good partnership that we have. In fact, my superintendent is on my former superintendent's on the board, but Molly stands for Massachusetts Women in Law Enforcement. And Molly actually is a great investment because we've seen the profession shift over the course of this was a male-dominated industry for a long time, and Molly has come to the point where there's a significant amount of women throughout law enforcement, and they are actually having. I'm going to be speaking at their annual event in a couple of weeks, but they represent from all areas of law enforcement: local, state, municipal agencies, the sheriff's office. And they are very active around. They have a young girls camp because it's Molly and Me camp, which enables girls from the Boston area to have a little fun and opportunity to meet with women in law enforcement. And it's a great way to get people into the criminal justice field. And we actually also partner up with the Vanessa Marcotte Foundation and Molly to bring self-awareness courses in self-defense to women throughout the county. So the Vanessa Marcotte Foundation is instrumental in that. Vanessa lost her life tragically to an assault a few years ago, and from that tragedy came this great organization that teaches other women to be safe. And there's a great partnership that we have with them. So it's a relationship that we're going to continue having. I'm very fortunate that we're building our female ranks in the sheriff's office, and we haven't officially signed off on the concept of 30 by 30, but it's an initiative nationally for 30% of your agency should be made up of women by 2030. I want to make sure I can make that goal, but it's a great goal to have. And we have a lot of women that work within our civilian ranks, but it's about making sure that our sworn officers are properly paired up, and we're working towards that.
In the last minute or two, talk about employment opportunities at the sheriff's office.
Yeah, we're always looking for talented individuals who are looking to come and work in the area of public safety. Specifically, we do have our safety component, our corrections officers. That's a huge component for us. But we also have, need for teachers, clinicians, administrators, counselors, so caseworkers. It's a great environment to work. We've been actively recruiting people from all walks of life. You don't have to have a specific, track record of maybe a criminal justice degree. Everybody thinks that. No, we're looking for a well-rounded organization. So anybody that has an interest in public safety, whether in uniform or out of uniform, try us out at the sheriff's office. We'll see if there's a fit there for you. Sign up, and we'd be happy to have you. Come to norfolksheriff.com/employment. Is our, and I think recruiting is another, recruiting at norfolksheriffma.org.
And we'll have that information on the screen for folks. Sheriff, always a pleasure to welcome you back to QATV. And we hope to do this in probably about a month's time.
We'll have all kinds of new stuff to talk about.
Very good. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for watching. And please remember to support the local access station in the community in which you reside.